The Greeks looked at the universe, shrugged, and said, yeah, that's probably run by a dysfunctional family.
What the hell are you Larry, you can't just...
They were right. Meet the 12 Olympians, 12 immortal beings with infinite power and the emotional maturity of a group chat that never should have been created.
Yeah, boy.
Let's start at the top. Zeus, king of the gods, ruler of the sky, master of thunder. Also, functionally, a man who cannot walk past a woman without turning into a swan, a bull, or a golden shower of light, depending on his mood. Picture it, a fully muscled six-pack swan crashing through a palace window mid-flex, while somewhere behind him, his wife is updating a scroll labeled Victim Number 384. Zeus overthrew his own father to seize power, then spent the rest of eternity proving he'd learned nothing from the experience. His wife, Hera, queen of the gods, goddess of marriage, professionally, marriage, personally, a woman who has filed more restraining orders against her husband's side pieces than there are stars in the sky. Hera didn't punish Zeus. Zeus was untouchable, so she punished everyone he touched instead. Efficient, terrifying, extremely relatable middle management energy. And by the way, this isn't even the weirdest birth you're about to hear about today. Poseidon, god of the sea, earthquakes, and horses. A resume that reads like it was assembled at random by a committee that got bored halfway through. He carries a trident, drowns entire fleets when he's cranky, and once created a horse out of pure spite during a naming contest for a city. He lost the contest. He kept the horse anyway. Hades, god of the underworld. The most misunderstood member of the family, mainly because everyone assumes runs the land of the dead means villain, when really he's just the one sibling who does the paperwork nobody else wants to touch. Hades didn't torture people for fun. Hades ran a bureaucracy. Judgment, sorting, eternal filing. The DMV. If the DMV had a three-headed dog for security. Now, you think that swan was insane? Wait until you hear how Athena entered the chat. Goddess of wisdom and war, born fully grown, in full armor, directly out of her father's head. Zeus had a headache so severe that a fully armed woman walked out of his skull, sword drawn, mid-battle cry, before he'd even finished wincing. Modern medicine calls this a medical emergency. Ancient Greece called it Tuesday. Athena never lost a war of strategy in her life. She once turned a woman into a spider for the crime of being better at weaving. Excellence in this family gets you an exoskeleton.
Bravo! Bravo, boss! Bravo!
Apollo, god of the sun, music, prophecy, healing, and archery. Basically, if LinkedIn had a profile, this would be the guy with too many skills listed and none of them verified. His sister, Artemis, goddess of the hunt and the moon, preferred the woods to the palace and turned a man into a deer for accidentally seeing her bathe. His own hunting dogs ate him. Artemis did not attend the funeral. Ares, god of war, feared by mortals, despised by literally every other god on the mountain because Ares doesn't do strategy, doesn't do honor, doesn't do glory. Ares just likes the noise. Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty, born from sea foam after a rather violent family incident we are not detailing on this channel. She was married off to Hephaestus, god of the forge, the one Olympian who actually works for a living, hunched over an anvil while his wife has a very active, very public, very documented social calendar. Hephaestus responded the only way an engineer knows how. He built a trap, a golden net, thin as spider silk rigged directly above the bed, caught his wife and her lover mid-affair, hoisted them into the air like a prize catch, then invited every other god up the mountain to come laugh at the display. Petty, brilliant, fully justified. Hermes, messenger god, god of thieves, travelers, and commerce, which is really just 3 different ways of saying god of people who are extremely good at leaving before anyone notices what's missing. Born in the morning, stole Apollo's cattle by afternoon, invented an alibi by evening. If Amazon Prime had a god, it was Hermes. Same-day delivery, no questions asked, and the tracking number leads back to a crime scene. He once talked his way out of a theft charge as an infant, still in the crib, still technically a newborn, already better at lying than most adults will ever be. Efficient child. and Dionysus, god of wine, chaos, and ecstatic ritual, who spent his childhood being smuggled around Olympus, sewn into his father's thigh to avoid Hera's wrath. Yes, sewn into a thigh. That's not a metaphor. That's just Tuesday, again. He grew up to invent the party, then invent the consequences of the party, then get worshipped for both. So that's the family. A king who can't stay faithful, a queen who takes it out on everyone but him, a war god nobody likes, a love goddess with a documented paper trail, a blacksmith who built a literal humiliation device, and a wisdom goddess who turns her rivals into arachnids. Here's the uncomfortable part. The Greeks didn't create perfect gods, they created immortal humans. Same ego, same jealousy, same family drama, just with lightning powers. So next time someone in your life is being dramatic, unreasonable, or turning a rival into a spider over a weaving contest, remember, you're not dealing with a difficult person. You're dealing with a minor Olympian. Act accordingly.
Subscribe. I'll be seeing all of you eventually.